Okay, welcome back everybody. We are continuing Shadowscape. I want to experiment with something in this episode, and if I like it, I will continue it. Basically, I want to house rule maze rats. I've done this before in an earlier video, a while ago. I'm not the best at record keeping, so I don't recall which episode or which video, but I know I've definitely house ruled maze rats many times before. I've made videos about house ruling maze rats, but what I want to do is combine it with Savage Worlds. So Savage Worlds uses dice in a step incremental system. So what I did with Maze Rats, I took out the modifiers, the positive modifiers, and replaced them with the applicable dice. Zeros are going to be D4, plus 1 is a D6, plus 2 is a D8. Every character has been converted respectively. With Savage Rolls, the goal is hitting a 4, and then there are acing. When your dice explodes, you can roll again, and you get another step. So every 4 is a success, which means in this episode, any action I'm trying to achieve will be a 4. Now, if it's difficult, I may apply a modifier to the actual roll or the target number. Again, we will experiment. The other question is, do I use a wild die? In Savage Rolls, you roll a d6 typically with whatever skill you're rolling. And if either dice explodes, you can roll again. There's also critical failures, which is the roll of 2 ones. That is if I use the wild die. We will experiment. Also, I bought some trays to organize all of my Dungeon Degenerate cards. They're all laid out and they're all mixed together depending on the geographic location. There's the Deadlands, there's the Highlands, the Lowlands, all the stuff in Dungeon Degenerates. Now, where we left off narratively, we were having an issue with Sarv. Sarv is disgruntled because his jewel is not present. He doesn't remember what happened. He wasn't part of the action when we were in the Tower of Purge. But now we are outside the Tower of Purge, which means it is time to update the picture. Okay, there we go. We are in the Deadlands, which I probably forgot to do that an episode ago, but that's quite all right. So we left off on tile T8, which is right here. And we encountered a goblin who was fishing. Needs safe travel, safe passage to Shadowscape with our help. We are still debating that. Varlex is recovered. Sarv is disgruntled because of the jewel. The jewel he does not have. It was given to the captain of the guard as payment for Sarv's freedom. So, picture the party is arguing amongst themselves, mostly with Wolf and Sarv. Sarv is yelling at the top of his lungs, "Why did you do that? That jewel was mine. I was supposed to find it. That was the whole part of the deal." Wolf says, "Your freedom, you got your freedom. They were going to arrest you for helping us. They were going to take you back and do who knows what." So, Sarv, we are basically doing something within our own party. It's entirely up to me how these two-player characters would interact. But I actually want to see what happens here with the roll of the die. We have Wolf trying to trying to convince Sarv that what Wolf decided was good for Sarv. So what we will do these 2 trait tests, but these will be opposing rolls. The higher roll becomes the perspective, the winning perspective of the argument. Here's how we'll do it. So willpower for Wolf is a D4, but he is the leader right here. That's a path. Sarv has a slight advantage in will, but he does not have a path to assist. So basically, Wolf rolls 2d4, choosing the highest roll. Sarv rolls the single d6. And remember, dice can explode, can ace, which is considered used in trace tests. Let me show you guys the page here. I'm not an expert in just FYI, I'm not an expert in this game, in Savage Worlds. I'm still learning it. very slowly. But basically, raises is when you can roll a 4 over a 4, the amount of times you roll a 4 plus. And I still have these two bennies here, but I actually am going to rule that I cannot use these between two-player characters I'm controlling. That wouldn't make sense. So let's do this. Let's roll the D4, the two D4s, and then a D6 red, which will be Sarv. So here we go. This is an opposing roll, which will not consider the 4 target number. Who has the winning perspective here? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it is all tied. All right. I'm going to re-roll on ties. That was all 1 here. Okay, let's try again. All right. 4 looks like the leader, Wolf, wins this argument. He convinces Sarv to put away his selfishness and take notice of the efforts Wolf took to basically grant Sarv's freedom from his criminal past. I'm not saying Sarv will cry or tear up, hugging Wolf, saying thank you for doing such a great deed, but more so, he will remain silent and step back, but not leave. Wolf says, we are heading back to Shadowscape with this goblin. We're going to help this goblin, which is, again, our escort quest. So I'm going to cross off this little task here, and now we're going to help the goblin. The party, is concerned that the goblin might try something, but we did roll in the last episode that the goblin's intentions were genuine, at least based on Wolf's perspective. So we make our way with the goblin to Shadowscape. So the party is now at 4 plus 1. We need a name for the goblin. His name, I'll do 2 stars here as usual. His name is, let's see, what would be a good goblin name? Oh yeah, that's right. Maze Rats has, I believe it has a name generator. There we go. Let's choose lower class name, Slee. Let's do Slee. So this goblin's name is Slee. And he says he will pay us 100 gold to escort him safely to back to Shadowscape. Sarv is not welcome back to Shadowscape. Wolf tells him this. Sarv, once we get back to Shadowscape, we will not be able to go inside with you. Us 3 have to go inside with the goblin, unless one of us will stay behind to wait while we return. Sarv acknowledges that and remains quiet. The issue here with our team chemistry is that Sarv, I believe, has lost some loyalty to Wolf. Not respect, per se, but loyalty, if that makes sense. Okay, let's take a card. We're on T8. And it's been a half an hour, let's say, after that little discussion. As you can see, I've not been tracking weather for some time. Let's draw a card. This would be most likely the Deadlands or the Highlands. Looking at my little collection here, Badlands. Let's do that. So we draw a card. It looks like we have an encounter. Or we can roll for it. Do we have an encounter? We'll roll against the D6. Blue is yes, red is no. We do have, oh, we don't have an encounter. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. I'll put that card back. All right, so now we are going to cross into, let's see, we're here. We're going down one step. So U8. At 6 p.m. We'll have to set up camp soon. But once again, we're rolling for encounter. And it looks like we do have an encounter. So those two dice dictate that roll. Okay, now I will draw that card again. I did not look at it from prior. Badlands encounter, which kind of matches because we are in the Deadlands. Here's what this encounter card says. I know the screen's a little small. It says resolve immediately. It's the environment. The rain steams as it falls on your cloak and stings against your skin, leaving painful welts wherever it lands. Each adventurer in this space must choose one of the following. Make a per test, which I'm assuming is perception. If you pass, you become detained. If you fail, select another option. Disregard a shield or equipment body or head item. Take D3 plus 1 piercing damage. So, it's acid rain or a trap. You found a stockpile of provisions left by goblins or wastelanders. You quickly search the room for something useful. The adventurer with the highest per may receive per test loot cards. Then in the per order, each adventurer in the space may take a food or herb card from among them. Until all revealed food and herbs have been taken, shuffle the remaining revealed cards back into the loot deck. So the question is, how do we interpret this into our ongoing Shadowscape Maze Rats campaign? Or should I say Maze Worlds? I believe I'm going to go with the Acid Rain. Here's how I'm going to perceive this. So it says each adventurer in the space must choose one of the following. Make a per test, which again, that might not be perception, but I might be including it into will. If you pass, you become detained. If you fail, select another option. So each character has to roll their will, I'm going to say. So willpower for Wolf is a d4. I'm probably doing this wrong. Let me do a quick little research here. Okay, I was correct. PR is perception, which makes sense. So perception in Maze Rats will be under will. So each character has to do one, and we are shooting for that 4 rating. I'm not going to adjust a difficulty on here. So here's what I'll do. I will indeed include a wild card, a wild die for this encounter, which works perfectly. But remember, Wolf is D4, whichever's highest. We're shooting for 4. 6, we exploded, which means I roll again. That's 1 success. That's 2 success. Oh, actually 10. Yep, that's 2 successes. Okay, so with that, 2 successes. How to interpret that? What does Wolf benefit based on simply surviving, and on top of that, gaining something? I say that he gets loot from perhaps a dead corpse nearby. So he gains loot. Magic mushroom. Disregard this card to make a contest. If you fail, you become poisoned and slimed. When you pass or fail again, magic test. If you pass this mag test, you become exalted. If you fail, you become demoralized. So, magic mushroom. Fungus. Let's say I will pass on that. I'll put this card in the back of the deck. And now we move on to Rayla. How does she succeed in this task? Oh, FYI, my Savage Worlds fusion dance with this game is strictly for skills, the traits. Combat will remain the same. 2d6, rolling at the armor, the difference is damage. That will remain the same. Attack bonus is also considered. Okay, now let's roll for Rayla. Same difficulty, 4. Her will is also d4, but I will include a wild die. Okay, here we go. That is a fail. So what she has to do is take another option. Disregard a shield or equipped body or head item. She has the moon mask and leather armor. It says take D3 plus 1 piercing damage. And that's the other option we can do. Well, let's take damage. So D3 will be the D6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3 plus 1. Okay, that's going to be 2 plus 1 is 3. So she takes 3 damage. Okay, so she definitely takes some damage. 6, 5, 4. Okay. The armor does not protect her in that matter. Next is going to be Garlax. His will is also D4, so we'll roll with the wild card. And that's also a fail, which means we have to consider the options. What does he have? He will sacrifice his shield, which is a +1. So I'll erase that from his inventory. And now he loses a step in armor. All right. Last but not least is Sarv. Sarv actually has a D6, so that's going to be 2d6. Okay, that could have been a major fail, but he also fails in general. He has a long cloak and leather armor. Let's say he is going to take damage. So the 1d3 plus 1, that's 1. 1, 2 is the 1. Plus 1, so it's 2. So once again, we match what we rolled. So he takes 2 health damage, down to 6. Okay, this encounter has been resolved. We move on to the next tile. So I'll put this card back in its Badlands trap, all in the back of the deck. We've completed this tile here. Now we're at U8. We go down here to V8. At 7 o'clock. The sun is setting, depending what season it is. Most likely the sun, I'm going to say, is setting very soon, within the next hour. Now we have to roll for encounter. If there is anything. There is not. Good. So we move on to the next tile. V8. We go down to W8. But it's just a bit on the northeast corner of the tile, so I'm going to say a half an hour passes. So W8 at 7:30. One thing I sometimes forget is rations. So because it's night, it's sunset. They'll have to they'll have to eat a piece of ration. So I'm going to take away 1 ration from each character respectively. Everyone looks like they had 3 rations. Now they're down to 2. Okay, Sarv had the most. He's down to 4 now. All right. There was no encounter here. Let's roll again. Should we set up camp? I'm going to say we're going to set up camp here. So W8 is where we set up camp. So what we'll do for the day to pass, I'll put camp W8, and then I will roll twice for encounter whoever is on watch. Wolf typically volunteers first, or we can roll for it. Let's do a D4 to see who goes on watch first. 3. That's going to be Garlax. He's on watch. Good. Okay, so the first roll is for midnight, late night encounter. Do we encounter anything? We do not. Okay? Next roll is for early morning hours, or just the morning. That is a negative. There is no encounter for this campaign. Okay, so now it is 7 a.m. Team will get a heal, D4 heal for the rest. Let's see. I'll give Sarv a full heal, because he's very close to his maximum. Wolf will get a D4 heal. That's 1, so he's going to be up to 8 now. Okay. Rayla is going to do a D4. Does she have any potions? Nope, she has no potions. 1, she only heals 1, unfortunately. She's still hurting from that acid rain, apparently. Okay. Next is Garlax. He's fine. So let's go back to our leader. Wolf. Okay. Now we go east to W9. It is currently going to be 8 a.m. and we roll for encounter. Oh, even. Okay, well, let's re-roll on that. Okay, that's a negative. There's no encounter. Now we're going to travel here, but it's just a half an hour move. This is going to be W10. At 8:30 a.m. And then I'm going to travel up here to V10. I keep forgetting to put check marks if we complete that tile, because I forget to roll for encounter sometimes. So now it's 9:30. Let's roll for encounter. Let me know what you guys think about this formula I've been trying more often to resolve each tile exploration. I like the formalic approach. It's consistent, and it helps just with organizational reasons. Okay, let's roll for encounter. Let me just try this. Let me keep out the red die, and 1 through 3 is a no, 5 through 6 is a yes. I'm sorry, 4 through 6 is a yes. That's a no, no encounter. All right, so check mark. So V10 we just completed. Now we're going to go down to, we're going east one more here before the trail turns to the down, turns south. V11. That's going to be at 10:30 a.m. Now we roll for encounter. That is a yes, so we have an encounter. I'll put E for encounter here. And let's see what happens. Let's draw from, I'm just looking off the corner here. Let's do wetlands encounter. Oh my. Okay, this guy is, okay, this guy's tough. Um, the bird horror. He has no armor, but he has health of 8. Health of 8 might actually measure up correctly to our team standard. So his attack is 5. I'll just do the usual D6, 2d6 roll. Perception's low. He has no armor whatsoever. So this guy, I don't typically consider the other factors in here. That's just from the Dungeons and Generates game. Okay, so we'll go in order here. Wolf attacks first. Let's roll 2d6. I will note his armor. I write down the health here of this enemy. So, bird horror and equals his health as we take attacks. Okay, let's roll for, let's see who attacks first, actually. I made a mistake. It should be 2d6. Yep. Okay, who attacks? Oh, it's equal. All right, so it's mutual. So we will figure out this based on dexterity. Here's what I'll do. Wild card. I'm kind of messing with the rules right now. Again, it's just experimentation. Dexterity for wolf is a d6, so I'm going to roll with a wild die, and our goal is 4. Do we go first? We don't. Okay, so the big guy goes first. He attacks wolf. That is an 8, and luckily that's a miss. Okay. Next is Rayla. She will attack. Okay. 6. That's going to be, obviously he has no armor, which I'm surprised, but he takes 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Next is the bird itself. He attacks Rayla. 3. No damage. Next is Garlax. He attacks. I wonder if I should give him armor. Because the basic armor is 6. Let's do that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to subtract 4 from his initial damage. And now he just has 2. So he has armor of 6. Defense. Armor of 6. There we go. I think that's fair. His health, HP was 8 total. Okay, that's fine. Who was going? I completely forgot. Okay, we're going. All right. So Rayla or Garlax attack. 6, that's going to be a block. Bird strikes back. That's 6. That's going to be a miss. Next is Starve. Starve attacks. 8. That's going to be 2 damage. Okay. The bird attacks. 7. That is going to be a miss or a block. Back to Wolf. 10. That is a difference of 4, which means he is defeated without even the weapon bonus. So 6, 7, 8. All right. Bird horror is defeated. Let's put him away in the wetlands. Okay. So encounter is complete. We move on to the next tile. V11 we left off. Now we go to W. We're here. W11. At 11:30 a.m. All right, now if you roll for encounter, that's a negative, no encounter. V11, we take a step to the left before we enter the hills. Now we're on W10. At, let's say 12 p.m. for this one. So now it's high noon, and now rolling for encounter. 6, that is indeed an encounter. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm looking at my deck here off to the side. Loot. Let's do lowlands monster. This is what we encounter here. He has armor of 1, which in this game would be a 7. Remember, the default's 6. So let's get his specs down. He is a Vermis Guard. Okay, so we have Encounter, a Vermis Guard, his armor, to convert it, is 7. His HP, or health, is 4, so he's not very difficult. He's not that difficult. Okay. All right, let's begin. Trying to figure out an initiative. Let's stick with the usual initiative in this game. I think roll 26. It's mutual, so we'll both attack. All right. Let's do this. We'll attack at the same time. Make it interesting. All right. So this big guy, he got 9, which is no good. We got 5 plus 1 attack bonus is 6. Again, I completely forgot my attack bonus in the last round. So 6. That does not hit him. All right. So now we move on to the next one. Rayla. I might actually do this moving forward. I think I did this in my last using the Beckme series. Just roll both d20s. Let's just do that. It's more formalic or procedural, but I think it works. Here we go. All right, so he got 8, which does hurt her by 1. But I think this method is more deadly. Rayla got 8. No attack bonus. That hits. So he deals. He gets 1 damage plus 1 for the silver daggers. So that's 2 damage. All right, next is going to be Garlax. All right, Garlax rolled a 7, which does hurt him with a plus. It does not hurt him. He does not have a bonus. He has attack bonus. I'm sorry, he does 8. So 7 plus the 1 attack bonus, that's 8. He gets this Vermis gets hurt by 1. The Vermis rolled a 4, which is no good. Okay, now Sarv. Sarv rolled 5, 6, 7. No attack bonus. That's equal to the armor of the guard, so it's a fail. The guard rolled a 10, which is 2 above the health of armor, so Sarv gets hurt to 6. I like this method. It's quicker and it's deadlier. So I think I'm out of count here by mistake. There we go. All right, back to Wolf. All right, so 5 plus 1, that's 6. That's not enough. You don't typically count weapon bonus for the attack roll bonus. The Vermis Guard got 7, which is not enough. Our wolf has a very good tank of a 10. Now we have Rayla. Okay, 10 for Rayla. Great hit. That's going to be defeating of the guard, but what did he do? 7. That's not enough. That's equal to her armor. She's safe. Okay, the Vermin Guard is defeated. And we'll put him back in the lowlands. All right, so encounter is complete. Check that off the list. W10. We're now here in the hills. So X10. X10. It is going to be at 1 p.m. because of that encounter. And do we encounter anything? 5, we do. Okay, we have another encounter. Let's roll. Let's do another lowlands. Okay, I was hoping for an encounter, but it looks like a lot of these are... I did shuffle the monsters and encounters at a specific geographic location, but it looks like we're getting more monsters today. Okay, so this guy is a ghoul. So put encounter, sharpen the pencil a bit. All right. A ghoul. He has an armor of nothing, so 6. His HP is 5, which is okay. There we go. And then his damage will obviously track it here. Let's roll. A lot of encounters today. All right. Oh, back to Wolf goes first. All right. So for this one there, 6, 7, 8 for a ghoul, which is not good enough. 5 plus 1, that's 6. That is equal to the ghoul's armor, so he survives. Next is Rayla. All right. Okay, Rayla got 6, 7, 8, which is a difference of 2, so 2 damage. Plus the silver dagger bonus, that's 3 damage. Okay, he got 5, which is no good. Next is going to be Garlax. Garlax got 6, which is equal, plus 1 bonus, that's 7, so that's a difference of 1, plus no damage bonus. The ghoul got 6, which is no good. Next is Sarv. Sarv got 7, which is 1 above the bonus, so the ghoul's defeated, but what the ghoul get? 5, 6, 7? That's not good enough. Okay, so this ghoul's defeated. All right, I'm going to check that off the list. Check, check, check. Done. X10 is complete. So now we move over to X11. All right. This one, it will be 2 p.m. And we will roll for encounter. That's a negative. Okay. Now we are 1 step away from Shadowscape. X12. Star. X12. At 3 p.m. Okay, we're at the walls of Shadowscape. So, at Shadowscape entrance. And that's where I will leave off this episode. So, as usual, I am very impressed with the content from Dungeon Degenerates, and I did like the use of Savage Worlds for the traits, for the action rolls. So, and I hope you guys did too. It was an experiment. I liked it, which means I will continue doing it for the next episode. Thank you for watching, as always. And remember, I still have 2 bennies left within this respected quest. And the goblin, he is safe. He remained back as we did each encounter. I do not consider Slee to be part of the team when we're in combat. Thank you for watching, as always, and I'll see you next time.